Hello, everybody. This is Jason Tempinski, psychic medium, level 2 QHHT practitioner, and psychic soul body wellness and spiritual counselor. Just want to welcome you to episode 2 of Ask Jason, where I'm answering questions that I've experienced, whether through sessions with clients or in readings or through email online. So I just wanted to start really exploring this in a place of, presenting more knowledge to the viewers, and touching on areas I might not necessarily have gotten a chance to or will talk about in the future with others on their own channels. So I really encourage you, if you are interested and have a question or a burning question you'd like to ask and have me answer, please post it in the comments below, or you can send me an email at jason@jasonqhhd.com. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this video and want to stay in touch and in the loop about who I'm meeting with or who I'm collaborating with and what I'm doing. So this is episode 2. It's called Who Are You? Do you have an English background? So I couldn't help but think of the caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland. If you haven't seen it, there is a scene, very well known scene, where the caterpillar's asking Alice, "Who are you?" And it's kind of a very broad and deep question, and I think it's often easier for us to answer who we are not, and that will be kind of the driving force of today and what I'm going to talk about. So the last session, or last episode, I talked about old age from the spiritual perspective. So if you didn't get a chance to watch that, I'd recommend doing so, especially if you're one of those who believes that old age is what society believes it to be. Our body listens, our body is aware. So there are some tips and tricks in terms of how we can shift or begin to shift our consciousness a little bit as a collective in terms of how long we live and how our body responds to our beliefs. So with this episode, I just wanted to touch on, it's of course a continuation on healing, and I am working with the perspective of a QHHT practitioner. If that's new to you or that concept is new, the short version, it's the quantum healing hypnosis technique. It was developed by Dolores Cannon. Really powerful, spiritual, deep hypnosis that allows you to explore other lifetimes, get in touch with your higher self and your spirit team, and also ask for healing. And the healing aspect, it can be absolutely miraculous for people. I've witnessed it firsthand. It goes beyond the limits of what we consider to be, westernized medical knowledge, and along the lines of what is incurable and is not. From the spiritual perspective, I'm not a doctor, disclaimer there. From the spiritual perspective, anything is possible. And really what it comes down to, the physical body, and spirit sometimes calls it the physical vehicle, because in a sense, we are not our bodies. So that is one aspect of the who are you question. We are not our bodies. You are not your body. It's more of, we're driving around in our little physical car around the earth to experience a lifetime, and then we go back to source. So as simple as that may sound, there are implications, and it's something that we're going to explore briefly here today. Is sometimes we forget that we're not our physical bodies, but in different circumstances and considering different ways of being. So when we're dealing with things like chronic illness or chronic disease or chronic pain, it's really difficult to be able to separate ourselves from our physical body, because it might be difficult to move, or we're constantly having headaches, or we're feeling grumpy or anxious because we're experiencing something else in the physical body. So in those times when we're undergoing or feeling the limitations associated with being in this vehicle, it's difficult to remind ourselves and difficult for us to understand and realize that we are not that pain, or we are not that symptom, or we are not that illness. And this is crucial in the terms of healing. So just to explain that a little bit more, um, within the context of a QHHT session, like I said, there is the opportunity and the time when any practitioner, including myself, will ask questions surrounding what a person is experiencing in their physical body. So, why is she experiencing the pain in her left foot? Why does she have MS? Why does she have cancer of the brain? And these are all questions that are pertinent because our body is a messaging system. So essentially, most of the time, um, and I'll explore that in other episodes when it's not, but most of the time it has to do with messaging from our spirit team. And once we understand, or once we know that fundamental reason why we're experiencing a physical symptom, um, that's when the actual true healing begin, because we get the message, we understand it, and our body realizes, oh, he's getting the message now. We can back off, or oh, he's really changed our behaviors, or changed his patterns of thought, or changed his environment or the people he surrounds himself with. Um, and so we don't have to keep pushing this messaging button to make him feel this way, or make him miserable. So that's why understanding and trying as much best as we can, and I know sometimes it's difficult, like especially I've spoken with people that have had chronic pain for almost all of their lives. We have to remind ourselves that it's a message. And once we know that and understand that, and go on the journey of trying to really think about and understand that, that's when it can be released. So what is the question, or what is kind of the focus that I'm leading up to? In those times where it's so difficult for us to distance ourselves from a particular way of being, or distance ourselves from living a life with cancer, once we lose sight of that and essentially are adopted as part of our identity, as part of who we are, that becomes problematic. And it's healing not just in the QHHT sense, but it's healing also everywhere. So even if you go to see a westernized medical doctor, or you're undergoing westernized treatments, there is an aspect of healing that is made possible through trying to understand and go on this journey of what is my body trying to tell me, because that illness is not you, and that pain is not you, and that those irritating symptoms that keep you from running outside and jumping through the streets for joy, um, that is not you. And why is that important? There are certain, I don't want to say limitations, there's no limitations when it comes to healing, but there are certain kind of conditions which must be met in terms of healing that occurs from the spiritual, from your higher self. And one of them that is so important is not being one of those, or not being the person who in times of physical pain and physical trauma and physical discomfort begins to adopt and become that disease in itself. Example, and I'm sure that some or most of you know someone close by. It could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be a coworker, who all they do is talk about their physical pain, or talk about their latest illness, or there are even those, and this has come through sessions where there are those types of people where they almost use their illness as a way of manipulating others or controlling others, guilting others into doing things, or guilting others into not doing things. So there is an element that when people begin integrating, for whatever the reason, illness into their lives, or how they relate with others, or how they view the world, that it becomes part of who they are. And within a QHHT session, I have had clients who are those, and on the outside and externally, and even before the session, they might say or believe that I really want to let this go. I want to be healthy. But when they get into the hypnosis and their higher self comes through, I've had the times where they say she really doesn't want to let go of this, and we can't heal it. And those reasons that I stated before, where maybe she derives a sense of power and control over others through being sick, or maybe she sees her disease, she sees her cancer as a death sentence and something she can't escape from, and has given up and just identifies as a person with cancer. The reason why they don't heal it isn't so much about um, it, like it's a no-no. It's more about, if we take this away from her, she won't know who she is. She won't know how to relate to the world, because she's so consumed right now by being her cancer, being her pain, being discomfort, being illness, that she doesn't see any other aspects of herself. And without that, there would be no sense of identity, no sense of who she is. And so until, and this is kind of in the words of higher selves that I've witnessed this with, until she sees and recognizes that she's not her illness, or she sees and realizes that she can't use her illness as a weapon or as a method of control over others, once she sees that, then the healing can begin. So it's unfortunate, but even after a session where a person might not necessarily remember that type of conversation or dialogue, even when I've told them, there is the sense of knowingness, like, yes, I do use this as a control, or yes, I do use this as an excuse, or or which is something that we may think, and the first time I heard it sounded a little foreign to me, was there are those people who are terrified of being well, of the idea of not having something to refer to in terms of, oh, I can't do that because of this, or I'm too tired because I have this and I can't go with you, or oh, I have another doctor's appointment, or oh, I have to get this type of testing. That moment, or even thinking about, and this is a question we often ask in interviews as QHHT practitioners. It's like, what will your life be like when you don't have anything to hold you back physically? What will your life be like when you don't have all these doctor's appointments, or you don't have all these medications, or you don't have something to worry about, or some pain, or anything like that? What would it be like? And it's actually, some people, it's really scary. It's like, what will I do? So all in all, the point of this episode today is to really just fortify and remind ourselves that we are not our physical bodies, and that includes, we are not physical pain, we are not physical illness, we are not our disease. And once we begin with that process, that is one step to being able to release it. No matter what modality you're working with in terms of medicine or healing or in different holistic therapies, we have to recognize and distance ourselves and detach ourselves, not only from our physical body, but also what it's telling us in the form of disease and illness and pain. And once we do that, once we also, if thinking about it more clearly, if you realize, oh, I guess I do kind of control others because of what I have, or maybe it is really terrifying what my life would be like in not having something, or I don't mean to reduce any type of illness or disease, especially serious chronic issues or conditions, as an excuse. But there are those out there who identify so deeply with it that it does become sort of an excuse. I can't do that because I am cancer. I can't do that because I am MS. From the spiritual perspective, anything is possible, including curing the incurable, healing the unhealable. So just adopting that outlook, or even beginning to kind of revisit your belief systems and reliance upon what culture and society tells us opens the gateway for types of healing that we or you or others may have never thought possible. So thank you for joining me. I will see you again in the next episode, episode 3 of Ask Jason. Again, if you have questions from this video, or you have questions I want me to explore in other, you want me to, or would like me to explore in other videos, please post them. You can email them to me at jason@jasonqhhd.com. Getting a little tongue-tied today. So I hope to see you again, and thanks for watching. Please hit like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you again. Have a good day. Bye.